Yeah, so that's how I met Ben, and then he came to sell Joppa to us. I really enjoyed it that evening. There was an evening in BOA. Yeah,
Yeah.
BOA. So I enjoyed it. The next, I met him at Odd Price, still selling Joppa.
Mm-hmm.
And being on the Odd Price team, I knew how close Joppa was close to winning the Odd Price that year. I knew how close. I knew how close. But that's how I've known Ben, and he has been apart from Joppa. The next thing I heard again was, or the next thing I saw again was when he told me that was in a meeting with Michael Sibel,
Yep.
with that secretary for Y Combinator and stuff, and that really blew my mind up. Like, wow! Then he told me about Flux. So
Mm-hmm.
then next I saw when I was going through Pioneer the app. I think what really drew me to Pioneer the app was Kelvin of he works at CC Hub now, but then
Sales Cabal.
he was building
Sales
he
Cabal.
was building sales cabal, yeah, sales cabal. So then I was just going through the list and I saw, wow, this is Ben. Ben is on Pioneer app. Why is Ben building? Then that's how the whole thing went, and I was asking, and he was giving me details and giving me details. Then um at that point too, I was me and my roommate. I think I mentioned on Startup Grind that we're building remittance
Mm-hmm.
payments using and stuff
Mm-hmm.
for to receive payments in Nigeria. And I told him that okay, I want to jump another app, and he told me how he was able to scale things to do. He
Mm-hmm.
just gave me some bits and tidbits then on how to walk around walk around per another app. And so at that point, I was not able to continue because of things happened that we had to re-strategize or do stuff. So I didn't go on with Pioneer app. But now, um, we are already at like at the launching stage or the MVP stage of what we are building,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about live. So and now I think I'm ready for Pioneer app.
Okay.
So
Yep.
that's where I was like, oh Ben, would you mind talking to me first? Then and I said to the community because I know like there are like a couple of startups on our
Mm-hmm.
group or on our WhatsApp group already that Pioneer app would really help them
Mm-hmm.
to get them to that get their decks
Yeah.
to be on the tables of VCs, share international VCs, not Nigerian VCs. So that's where we just decided that let's let's do it. So that's why we have Ben here. So Ben, just give us like a brief about yourself.
Okay. Hi everyone. So my name is Ben, and I'm a co-founder at Flux. So we are building cross-border payments for Africa using Flux, and yeah, I have a team. We have a team. We work together to build. We are working together to build this product, and also we've been through a lot of stuff. Like Toby said, we were one of the African startups to get selected for the Pioneer tournament, and it was it has been really helpful so far. At least I know that Pioneer put us on the global scale, right? So yeah, that's a brief about myself. I'm happy to answer more questions about our journey with Pioneer.
Okay, so I've seen the chat now. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, just reply in the chat that you can hear me. Uh, okay. Uh, so while I wait your response. So, for those that are wondering what exactly is by another app, so I would go on to share my screen now. Like this is going to be very informal. Like it's going to be like if informal is the word, yeah, it's going to be very informal. It's going to be questions. So I expect that if you are joining the call, I expect you should have maybe at least googled what by another app was.
Yep.
And if you have questions, so it's going to be a lot of questions. So from my end, and if you have questions also, I think you should start arranging your questions because like most time, if you all this kind of talk is usually you find the potential, find your customer, find your all this kind of talk that you see on. I'll just send you a link to Y Combinator's YouTube page and go and watch
Exactly.
the content. So this is somebody that went into Pioneer and came out like in competition, the third position, like global competition, and that's some big stuff. So for those that have not checked out Pioneer the app, and well, I'll open it for people to see what exactly is. So I'll share my screen now. Stop video, share screen, application. So, so I hope you guys can see my screen. This is going to be so. So a brief run through us as to what exactly is Pioneer is about. Like what exactly Pioneer is about. It's kind of a leaderboard where when you register, you send in like updates every week, and people upvote it, and people give comments. So when you register, you get like some points. When you submit an update, you get some points. When people give it like reviews and stuff and upvote it, you get extra points. So the more points you get, the more you grow through the leaderboard. So and it's like so when you get to like the top 20 in the world global, then you attract VC analysts to come and check your business out.
Mm-hmm.
So you attract VC analysts to come and check your business out, and if you are right, then you go next into the next stage. I don't know that next stage because I've not gotten the top 20. So that's what Ben is here to explain to us. So what we're going to talk about is so now if you go on your laptops on your phones, you can check out Pioneer app if you've not checked it before. So but Ben is going to like give us his experience using Pioneer app. Then the questions can come in. But just a basic overview or a basic the thought behind what the Pioneer is about is so you can see that there's a leaderboard. So you register with your name of your startup. You send in weekly updates. People upvote them. So the more they upvote them, the more points you get. The more points you accrue. The more you do some small tasks. Tasks like okay, what did you do? What did you complete this week? What do you plan for next week? What were the bottlenecks? And people will look through it and say, okay, this makes sense. Seems your product is really nice. So it's more of a product focused VC scheme or VC system. So it is what you are building that people are interested about, not necessarily the technologies behind. Not that you're building AI for the next 200 billion users. Mm-mm. It is it is what exactly what your product is solving that people are ranking. Yeah, there's some when I did it, then there were like a little bit of some technical remarks on the product, but what I saw basically around other people's submission was that they were talking about their product itself, what their product had done and stuff, and what they are doing in the product, where they had the current stage of the product cycle and stuff. So that's what it's about. But I have the information I have is based on the small thing I've done here. But Ben will go on and tell us exactly his experience using using Pioneer app. That's the name of your beauty. So all right. So Ben, over to you.
Okay, guys. So yeah, I'm going to start talking about our whole experience with Pioneer. So like Tobias said, Pioneer is sort of like a global tournament where you submit progress updates about your product, and you get people, other startups reviewing your product. They upvote you, they downvote you. You get points, you climb up the leaderboard. Then after you've gotten to a certain level, right? I think top 20 in the world, you get some experts like Patrick Collison, Mark Anderson, and Daniel Gross reviewing your application to know if you can um, progress to the next stage. So when you progress to the next stage is where. So before I go to the next stage, I'll talk about scaling through the Pioneer tournament itself, because Pioneer sort of like has two arms. They have the arm where you are doing the competition. Then they have the arm where you are into the accelerator, right? So we were able to scale through the accelerator. Not so many African startups. I don't think we're up to 10 in Africa that have been able to scale into the Pioneer accelerator. I mean, it's a global competition. It's really it's it's a high-end competition. There are a lot of people from the USA, from India, from Pakistan, from a lot of countries competing, building products, right? So we initially started Pioneer around February. And one thing about Pioneer is that Pioneer is continuous, right? You might apply for Pioneer today and get selected to progress into the accelerator. And people that have been applying for the last 8 months will still continue submitting updates if they've not submitted impressive progress, if they've not made impressive product progress rather. So when we started submitting our updates, I think we were in Pioneer for about 2 months, roughly about 2 months. In fact, it just took me doing submitting the right thing. I think 2 weeks after I started submitting the right thing, we got selected to progress to the accelerator. So what Pioneer is about is you submit progress updates about the product you are building, right? They just want to make sure that you are working and you are productive, right? So that is what Pioneer is about. So let's say we are building an e-commerce platform. Let's assume that we are submitting progress updates with Jopa. So you are required to week one. What did you do in week one? What did you do in week two? Okay, so week one we set up our dev requirements. We spoke to users. Week two we set up Python environments. We set up React Native environments. Right. So what Pioneer wants to see, one mistake I see people making with Pioneer, because to a higher level, I've been reviewing a lot of startups on Pioneer. um, but one mistake I've noticed a lot of people doing is, like Toby said, um, for you to progress in Pioneer, the person that is reviewing your application has to understand what you are submitting, right? So if you start coming here, going to Pioneer to start putting big software engineering terms, nobody will vote you up, right? They are more interested in what did you do differently from last week and how has your product moved since last week. So at a higher level, they just require you to post updates on. Definitely, you post technical product updates, but you don't have to put your code, or you don't have to tell them you use this cryptocurrency. Rather, you use this cryptographic encryption, right? You just have to go basic, right? You just have to go basic. So one of those startups that got into Pioneer before us was Sales Cabal, Kelvin Omechuku's startup, right? So a few times I reviewed Sales Cabal and I noticed that they were up the ladder for Africa, the board rather for Africa. And I noticed that the kind of updates that they were submitting were even less technical and more products, right? Sales Cabal can say stuff of how they did this integration with Paystack, or how they did this integration with maybe Gokada and other stuff, right? So, and I noticed that Sales Cabal, they were just going up and up the ladder and up the leaderboard rather, and eventually I saw that they got selected to be pioneers. So based on that information I'd collected from the pioneers that I reviewed, I started refactoring the way I submitted my updates, right? So I started putting updates that were easy to understand, and also, most importantly, make sure that you show progress and try to hit the goals. So for Pioneer, you set goals. You can say, okay, week one, I want to set up a dev environment. Week two, I want to start up with Python. Week three, I want to integrate this library. Week four, rather, sorry, for that week, you want to talk to 10 users. You make sure you do all that stuff. And when you do all that stuff, also one very important thing is having a very good landing page for your product. Very, very good landing page. One thing that I know that Pioneer helped us with was our landing page. Initially, when we built Flux, we just when we were building Flux, we just had this crappy landing page, right? Not so good landing page. But with Pioneer, we started getting good suggestions on how we can improve our landing page. We started refactoring based on those suggestions that we were getting, and over time, we started moving up the leaderboard. We started moving up the leaderboard. Um, and Pioneer is not really interested in who the biggest startup is. A very big startup with so much traction would go to Pioneer and not get selected, because most of those big startups, they might be focusing on transaction volume, GMV, revenue. Pioneer is not interested in most of those things, right? um, they are interested in products. They are interested in progress. What did you do last week? What did you do this week? What are you doing next week? What goals are you achieving? What are you setting to achieve these goals? What are your blockers? And what advice do you need? So these are all the components that you need to scale through the Pioneer tournament. So immediately I started submitting the right type of updates. About 2 weeks after, I got an email. In fact, I was not expecting it. I got an email that you've been selected for the Pioneer tournament. I mean, it was huge, right? It was huge. And just to tell you, um, I don't want any of you to sort of underestimate what Pioneer can do for you. I mean, I don't know what Flux would have been like if we did not go through Pioneer. Pioneer opened doors for us. It opened international doors. We had a lot of venture capitalists reaching out to us. We had a lot of people, a lot of product managers, a lot of organizations, a lot of firms reaching out to us, requesting for meetings and all that stuff. So Pioneer is like the Y Combinator for the internet, right? It was founded by the partner of Y Combinator. So it doesn't have the much rep for that YC has, but we can say internet wise, it is the Y Combinator for the internet. I mean, so when we got selected for Pioneer, we were moved into an accelerator. So this is where only a few startups. I think they launched Pioneer. I think 2017 or 2018. We have about 100 and something startups in the accelerator arm. So what happens is that um, you get trained for about a month. You get mentorship from different people, right? You still submit progress updates. You talk about your updates. Then they bring experts, industry experts in your field to ask you questions to make sure that you're moving forward. Then after that, they also set a goal for you to achieve. I think for us at Flux, our goal was to achieve a certain transaction volume and talk to a certain number of users. So, and it was so helpful that at the end of 1 month, it didn't look realistic. I mean, the goal that we set did not look realistic before the accelerator started, but we were growing so fast that in the space of 1 month, we literally moved from zero to processing thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in transaction volume, and also increasing our user base almost by two. So we also, after the accelerator, they do this thing they call demo day, right? So demo day is where you get the chance to present your product to the global audience, to a bunch of investors, people all over the world that will watch you presenting. On my own demo day, there were from people from Startup Grind that watched me demo. Um, I demoed with Paystack, Shola. I demoed with Shola, right? So one interesting thing that happened after our demo is that we received a lot of emails, right? It was during the Pioneer era. One other thing that Pioneer did for us was um when we got into the Pioneer Accelerator, um, they'll help you register as a Delaware company. And if you know about startups, you know that once you are registered as a Delaware company, you are open to a lot of opportunities. In fact, some people, when they want to invest in you, the first question they ask you is, are you registered as Delaware? Right? So if you're not registered as Delaware, like it's like you limiting the opportunities you can get, right, from the global market. Right? So Pioneer registered us for free as Delaware. They helped us with a lot of stuff. They sent us some cash. You know, they're just there to make you, to help you progress. They're there to help you grow. In fact, Flux became 18 after we built our product, and majorly after we got into Pioneer, because Pioneer opened the doors for us. I mean, we literally had a huge bank of network. We had a huge bank of mentors, YC partners, tech, 500 startups, like a lot of opportunities, man. It's still mind blowing till today. I mean, to think that I just casually registered for Pioneer, it was one of those things I wanted to kick off, right? Um, like Toby said, when there was a time when me and Toby started talking, where it was one time I interviewed with Michael Sabu. We made it to the first round of interview stage for Y Combinator, but then we were not. The reason why we couldn't proceed with that was because we didn't have a solid product. We didn't have a lot of things set in place. We're still really young, right? Um, but I can say that Pioneer, when so I was more focused on Y Combinator than Pioneer, right? Then I didn't really know about Pioneer. I just said, let me just do this thing because I saw Patrick Collison, right? So I just said, let me just do it. And it turned out that Pioneer was what actually opened the doors for us. And mind you, Y Combinator, right now we did not apply for Y Combinator for this batch, but we interviewed with a YC partner, I think 2 weeks ago. You know, they were asking us to apply to Y Combinator. They requested an interview, and they don't do this on a normal day. So these are the kind of opportunities that you get when you get into the Pioneer Accelerator. I mean, at a higher level, it brings a lot of opportunities. In fact, the interesting thing is that you see a lot of people doing what you are doing, right? I thought that I'll be the youngest person, but I mean, there were 17-year-olds in Pioneer from the
Yeah.
US, right? So there were all these guys building a lot of stuff, building productivity tools, building APIs, and it's just an awesome community, right? So that was it for our Pioneer journey.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, so I think you told us. I think you told us half. But me, I have questions about half. I think you told us half, but I have a question on
Okay.
this half. So somebody
Okay.
asked, what is Delaware?
Okay. So Delaware is what they call an American incorporation. right? Where when you incorporate as an American company, the state of incorporation is Delaware. Just like in Nigeria, you have CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, right? So that is just like the equivalent of an American incorporation. That they call it Delaware.
All right. So before we get to the second half of your experience using Pioneer, like
Mhm,
the accelerator proper, because I want that's the part I really want to understand. Like
mhm,
why you were submitting updates. So
mhm.
give us an example of the updates you were submitting before you now start submitting. Like how to so that we can do like comparative analysis of what changed from. I submitted updates and I
Mhm.
saw some updates. I was like, guy, I submitted trash. Like you know, like when I started that first time what for with Payfield was that I just submitted some bunch of stuff. Like
Mhm,
I wanted
mhm,
to meet deadline, so I just came from. I think I went home. I traveled that day. I came back. I said, let me just write some bunch of answers in this thing.
mhm,
I started typing. But when
mhm.
I now submitted, I saw feedback. I saw that people's submission. I was like, wow, what am I writing? What am I writing? So that's what I reached out to you. I told her, see, I don't think I told you that I was like, man, how do I write things for this thing? So can you tell us what you're writing before
Mhm.
that was giving you that slow progress in the leaderboard, and what you now start writing that got you like in 3 weeks you're already in
Mhm. So,
in the competition.
interesting question. So for when we started Pioneer, that was the time we launched the prototype of Flux, our version one. We just wanted to try it with a couple of people. So I think I was focused on submitting the wrong type of updates, right? I was focused on transaction volume. I was saying things like we processed $2,000 this week, all those kind of jargons, right? For Pioneer, those are jargons, right? Um, I was not really, basically, I was not detailed on progress, right? What Pioneer wants to see is what did you do this week as regarding products, right? And how did you achieve those goals, right? So, what I was submitting was more of what do you want to do next week? I'll probably say I want to process maybe $10,000 in transaction volume. I want to make $200 revenue, all those kind of stuff. And I now got to realize that guys like Sales Cabal, they were not submitting. I don't even think then they were really launched, so they did not even have revenue. So at a point, I was topping the African leaderboard, right? At first, look at what happened when I first came into Pioneer. I was stopping because then I started submitting. At first, I was submitting. Excuse me. Just give me water. I was submitting things like about the product. Okay, because we're a prototype stage, I was like, okay, this week we did this, we did that on the product. We included bank transfer. We integrated the crypto API and all that kind of stuff, right? But when it got to a point, I was leading the Pioneer African leaderboard. But when it got to a point, I started submitting updates like we processed $1,500 in transaction volume, we processed $2,000 in transaction volume, we had $100 revenue, and I noticed that progress. I started going down the leaderboard, right?
Wow.
Remember, I was stopping at first, but I said going down the leaderboard. Sorry, excuse me.
Problem. Take your time. Drink water well, well.
So, um, so I started going down the leaderboard. And I had to like rethink the way I submitted progress updates. Like they want to know in details what you are doing. Okay, let me use Flux for example. So on Flux we have the fiat section where you can send money to people in Nigeria, send money requests, receive cash, flux to flux transactions. We have the crypto part where you can receive crypto, buy crypto, send crypto, sell crypto, right? So I'll just use Flux for example. So progress like okay, this week what are you working on? Okay, this week we are focused on um working on the transactions withdraw part of the app. We are using Python to work on it, where you now give sort of like a detailed explanation what is withdraw, what you want to achieve with that, what integrations are you doing with the bank. You understand? So they don't need you to go deep into your code base, right? They just need you to tell okay, next week we are working on airtime, next week we're working on request money, and you just give little details on that, right? And they want to see did you achieve your goals, You understand? Basically, what is very interesting is because I also noticed that most of these people reviewing our applications, they were not Africans, they were people from other countries. They did not understand things like withdraw money. I don't know if they don't have withdraw money in their countries. Like, you know, you hear somebody asking you like, what is withdraw money? I'm like, so you just have to like be very basic in your in the kind of progress updates you submit. Like this week we are working on send money. They don't know what airtime is. Honestly, they don't know what airtime is. So I noticed that a lot of them had issues. They were like, what is airtime in the reviews? um all that kind of stuff. So you are working with a global audience. You're not working with only Africans. I think it's only maybe Nigerians, South Africans, Ghanaians that know what withdraw money is. Most of them, they don't even know what BVN is. I remember the time we were working on integrating BVN verification. I said we are doing BVN verifications on Flux, and because of that, I got low ratings. They were like, "What is BVN?" You know, what I would have done differently is that we are working on KYC. KYC, know your customers. Everybody knows what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been better for the global audience than BVN. I think for America, they use social security number, so you don't expect them to know what BVN is. So basically, for a higher level of abstraction, you just use stuff like KYC. Do you get? So that covers. They know that okay, you're working on the verification, right? So those were some of the things I did wrongly, and also majorly focusing on we process $1,200. Like I mean, they don't care about all that stuff. Really, Pioneer doesn't care about all that stuff. So
All right. So yeah. So now I think some people might be a little bit confused at some point here. So I'm going to open the floor for. I think Ibami runs a startup. So I want to do something. So I copied the questions. That weekly question. I copied it into like a sheet. So I'll share
mhm,
my screen now,
mhm,
and I want to use a business here as a case study as
sure.
to what you were doing before
Mhm.
and what you now started writing about the next week that got you the stuff. So Ibami, are you? Let me give you a presenter mode. Let me see. Ibami, should be able to turn on your mic now, I guess. Or who would like to go if Ibami is just mention? Okay, I think Sampam is here already. Okay, Ibami is here. Ibami, can you hear? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All
Can you
right.
hear me
So
too?
which one should I? Should I use DX for X or should I use Credmat? Which of them should I use?
Okay, let's start with credit math.
Credmat. So I don't know what Credmat is, but okay, just Ibami, just give us an example of what Credmat is, or what
Okay,
not
thank.
example what Credmat is about.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Toby. Thank you, Ben. So credit math simply provides consumer credit and retailer credits to people that need it. Okay, so in simpler terms, you go to a lender to get money to do whatever it is you want to do. So we are
Mm-hmm.
going one step further to not just give you that loan, but to enable you to actually get that product you want to use the loan to get. So that's just the idea behind credit math. If you want to buy a phone,
So it's like is it let's say higher purchase or does that really describe it?
um, okay,
Or
yeah,
what?
I think that's just okay. More like you want to buy a phone, and then
Mm.
we'll check your credit worthiness. So
Okay.
if you find you credit worthy, then we give you the phone, and then you can pay in 3 installments. So you have the product before you, because I think I have purchased. You have to make the deposit first before you can get the product. Or maybe I've forgotten. But anyways, the point is you get the product and then you pay in installments, and then the same thing applies to maybe a retailer or the FMCGs that need the products in bulk and they don't have all the money to pay at once. So we can serve like an should I say an intermediary that gives them that product and then they pay in bits after getting the right form of guarantee. So the
Okay.
guarantee could be that they have good credit worthiness or they have someone that can stand in gap for them.
All right. So
Yeah.
I'm going to share. I'm going to share like the questions that came through when I was doing it. I'm trying to. So I'm going to share my screen now. So
Okay.
um, so just to make so it can make sense. Uh, so these are kind of questions. I hope you guys can see. If you guys, let me try and can you see it, Ben and Ayobami?
No, is okay. Let me try and
How about now?
okay. I think I can see it now.
I can see
You
it
can
too.
see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think get like per week, you have to fill per week, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So now, for example, now, so in case of credit an
Mhm.
example, like what would you think? Now, I hope you understand credit
Well,
business.
Definitely. Okay. Well,
I
asking Ben.
No, you're talking
Okay.
about Ben.
okay. So if I understand what he's building, it's sort of like building. Let's say I don't really get the pitch, right? So, but I understand what he was trying to explain. Like, if you want to buy something, they help you to buy it, and you pay instrumentally, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So now, so Ben,
it's just
answer me.
a loan, but
Okay. So you are you help people get products instrumentally, or is it just products?
okay. Let me use a market a layman term.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our parents used to do something back then when
Mm-hmm.
they don't have their when they've not gotten their salary. So they have this woman that sells food stuff to them. So the woman the food stuff, and then when they get salary, their salary they pay back. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. So do you
Yeah.
understand now,
Yeah.
Ben? All right. No. So now, so like an example is what? How would Albami answer these questions on a pioneer?
Now, okay. So for Ayubami now, what are you building? I believe that he can give that description in a sentence. Also, that description is
Mm-hmm.
really important too, because if they don't understand what you are building, they cannot relate with it, right? So when we were doing Pioneer, we usually use this PayPal for Africa, though we don't use it anymore. But the reason why we use PayPal for Africa is because almost everybody knows PayPal, right? So we wanted them to get an idea of what we are trying to build. So we usually say PayPal for Africa. So what you are building in one sentence is also really important for your ratings, because it will help them to understand what you are building, and also to understand the goals that you're trying to accomplish. So um, what did you accomplish this week? Did you do everything?
Yeah.
Sorry, Toby, I can't see the questions. Okay,
How about now? Sorry.
okay.
Mhm.
So, Toby, I think the questions you posted is full-on questions. Yeah,
Oh.
it's supposed to be what are your goals for next week kind of questions.
Can I get that? Let me see if I can
Yeah,
get
I
that.
think you should be able to get there.
Let me see if I can. I think I have one very good account there.
Okay.
So you can make it very. I want to make it very relatable for people
Yeah.
what to expect and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, let me see. Please, if you have questions, you can start dropping them in chat. So, network. So, okay. So this is how when you log in, this is how it looks like. I'm trying to deaden this account. Oh, can I see the questions like this? Let me see my submissions. If I can see my submissions. Okay. Okay. Is this it? Ben. Ruben, is this you see the questions there?
You've taken it away. Okay.
I think you're on track with the questions, because I think the first part is the product description. I'm also logged into my Pioneer account. Um,
Okay.
yes. So the product description, then Then the next part is the submissions for weekly submission.
Each of the.
Exactly. So I think you're on track with the questions.
All right. So the next question is, what did you accomplish this week? Did you do everything you planned?
Okay. So for what did you accomplish this week? Um Now I'm going to read from, okay, should I speak from the startup that we are talking to now? Should I
Okay.
speak?
Why don't we do like this? Um why don't we can we see your own submissions
Oh,
and then we'll now apply it to Ami's
yeah, I'm actually
the-
I actually want to, but I tried to log into my Pioneer and Google is restricting me from logging in. I don't know why. So,
wow.
hold on. Toby, can you forward me? Oh, no. Okay, just hold on. I was trying to like log into my Pioneer account, but Google did not let me log in. It's asking me to do one verification, and I don't have any idea because I think it will be more understanding if you see my submissions.
Yeah, I think that will make more sense because
Yeah,
they will now apply it to
hold on.
Ami's case.
Let me try to log in again. Um, here. Ah, it's still asking me for verification, and
Hmm. How then do we do this? How then do we do this?
what is annoying, folks? Yep.
So it's Google's fault.
Google is not letting me log into my Gmail.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I can read the application from my phone.
Okay, that will make sense.
Yes.
So let's
I can read the application. I'm logged into my Pioneer with my phone. So
okay. So
yeah.
so give us like one of the updates
Okay.
before.
So for my first week,
Hmm?
this is what I submitted. They asked, what are you building in one sentence? And I said, my description was mobile app for sending, receiving money, and accepting payments across Africa. That was my submission. Then they asked,
Hmm.
what did you accomplish this week? Did you do everything you planned? So I my first bullet point was, this past week we spoke to 57 users about our products.
Hmm.
Then the second bullet point was, we were able to build an SMS technology to send money offline with poor internet connectivity. Now, for this okay, then my third point was, we finished building our MVP. Actually, this was a mistake. If I'm to go back to the Pioneer Accelerator, I wouldn't submit the update like this. Now, if I what I did here was, I didn't backdate the progress of the product, right? So I just put, we finished building our MVP. I mean, Pioneer is about products. So if you finish your MVP, that means you're not supposed to be in the competition. You get.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so that was a mistake. And also when I said we were able to build an SMS technology to send money offline, blah blah blah, those are jargons, right? They don't. What is an SMS technology? Do you get, right? So
Hmm.
for my week one, my product was not, my submission was not detailed. So let me go to the next question. They said, what do you want to have done by the end of next week? Now I said, completely test and ship our products to Play Store, bring in first 10 to 100 users, hit first 100
Hmm.
transactions, bring first 50 to 100 merchants. Now, um this other, what do you want to do by the end of next week, is good, but the problem is that I should have started from the base level, from the very basic level. Do you understand? The very basic
Hmm.
level is setting up your product, your project, right? Of
Okay.
course, if you set up your project, you'll know the technologies you want to use. You'll know the kind of things. Okay, I'll be like, okay, we've set up this product. You've described your product. We want to use Python for the backend. We're using Heroku to host our servers. We are using React Native for the front end. Those are the kind of updates that you are supposed to set up. And firstly, we are working on the UI for the product. It's progressive. You know,
Okay.
so that is what I did not get for my first week of submission at Pioneer. So let me go to the second week. Let's see the difference. Okay, actually this third week. Now, also for my third week, I was not submitting the right set of updates here too. What did you accomplish this week? Did you do everything? I said finish building MVP. I said that last week. I said that last week. Like, I mean, shipped our MVP. What did you do? Finish building MVP, shipped our MVP. My third bullet point was did private beta testing with 48 users. Um, have 14 pilot merchants on our wait list. Like, this is not progress. You understand? Like, that was a mistake for me. And I'm sure that if I realized what to do early, I would have been selected earlier, right? But look at you to look at it, you're also laughing. Look at the kind of updates I was. Then now, let me read this for you. What do you want to have been done by the end of next week? Generate our first 50 to 100 transactions. I said that last week. Get 50, like bring in around 14 to 15 merchants. That's not progress. You get right. I was sort of like repeating,
like just giving them back again the same information.
Or just changing English and telling them the same thing. So let me check the week.
Maybe you should go to the week where things start getting better. Okay. When you start writing the stuff.
Okay, let me go to when things started getting better. Oh, exactly. Now look at this. Look at the difference. Now on the week.
Wait, let's start from what are you building?
Okay.
So we can get the what change there.
Okay, now what are you building? We are building Flux Dash mobile app for performing cash transactions in Africa. Sounds simpler, right? Yeah. So what did you accomplish? We completed the dashboard for we completed what did you accomplish? Completed integrations for Firebase notifications on the app. Wait, hold on, sorry, I'm not reading the correct thing. Oh yeah, what did you accomplish? Started writing backend API for merchants to upload their catalog to generate one-click payments, right? That was the feature that we're building on the app too, right? So for this update, I just submitted 2 things. I did not even submit up to 4. I just said we are currently writing our backend API for merchants to upload products. Then the second one is started building the app UI for catalog dashboard, right? So as you can see, what are you doing? We started integrations for merchants to upload products. Then number 2, we started building the API for the integrations that we are building, right? It seems like a precise update, right? So what do you want to accomplish next week? For next week, we want to finish the integrations. We want to onboard more users, and we want to be done with the UI. Can you see that this progress update is actually more, it looked like progress more than what I was submitting before?
Yeah,
exactly. So I was more detailed on what I wanted to do, and I did not submit much. The other time I would have submitted maybe 4 or 5 bullet points, but this time I started submitting only 2 bullet points, right? I was not pressured because I saw that, in fact, there were times where Sales Cabal used to submit only 1 bullet point. Right? So it was not about how many things that you want to accomplish. I'm sure some people, the mistake they will make is they want to submit 10 things, so it will look like you made so much progress.
I see they are working.
Exactly. But the truth is, if you just submit 2 things, 3 things, and you focus on achieving those things, right? I think it's going to be more helpful. I think it's going to be more helpful than trying to submit a lot of things.
That makes a whole lot of sense. Wow. Looking at, because I was trying to write the different updates when things were not really going the way you wanted, and when you start writing, you write this kind of stuff. The difference is that he made as much as we wanted to excuse the tech jargons. I think what I can say from your submissions was that based on the audience that are reading it, they understood what you were doing.
Exactly.
So at some point, those big, large, abstract terms didn't make sense. Like, yeah, I get the point now. So if you want to build an API, so whoever you want to build integrations for something else to work.
Exactly.
You want a UI that will do
Exactly.
so that was actually the difference between what you wrote.
Exactly.
When
I think I have one other interesting update that I submitted.
okay, let's hear that one.
Yeah, so Flux is not just a Nigerian app, but also we have international version. We are just getting some things ready, like our AIN to launch. So then one of the updates I submitted was started dashboard for other countries, like the dashboard for obviously you cannot do airtime top up for the USA, right? You can't create airtime top up, right? Then finish reviewing Sila.money API, right? There was an API that we wanted to use for our KYC for international countries, so I just put it there. Finish reviewing API, set up Python SDK, right? Onboarded 10 more users, push bug fixes to Play Store. Like you can see that these updates are simple to understand and they show progress on the app side, right? Then what do you want to do next week? Complete the dashboard, set up notifications, start working on the API for merchants to add products, to 10 more users, right? You see that?
Yeah, I see the difference now.
Exactly. So it was just me saying simple things that I want to accomplish on the app, right? And I pushed my focus from saying things like 40% more users, 20% more transaction volume, all those kind of things, right? Those things are too abstract for people to understand. So it was just me using simple terms to explain what we are doing.
Yes. So that somebody that is tech inclined can easily just read and say, oh,
exactly.
Like back end phase, you want to integrate a particular API,
exactly.
for somebody else. You are building a UI a particular part of the feature. You're adding this. It makes sense. I think it's mostly about you not doing localizing your submissions, but making it a global thing that anybody anywhere can pick up. And,
exactly.
Makes sense. Yeah. So now one more thing again. So before we go to I think I understand. I think if you have questions, you can drop about the submissions. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat. I would answer. Let's just one more question before I ask the next question. What kind of companies do they allow in Pioneer?
What kind of what?
Company do they allow in Pioneer?
Pioneer, they take any company, right? As long as but I think that to a higher level they take software. Your company has to be software related, right? For instance, now you have to have a company that has a product at least. You get. So let's assume somebody that is selling risk in front of maintenance wants to go and submit Pioneer updates, right? Or do you want to start saying you sold Indomie, you fried egg? So your product, I think that they support any type of company that has a product, right? So that is what Pioneer is about, because I saw people building smart cities. I saw people doing genetic mutation. I saw people doing a lot of things. I saw people building electric cars. I reviewed a lot of startups, man. It was really awesome, really. To know that people are building all these awesome stuff. I saw bamboo cities with bamboo, right? Like it was really awesome. But what I noticed was that everything was channeled to a product, right? Your stuff has to have at least a product. It has to be tech software inclined. So that's it.
All right. So now, so let's quickly jump into Ibami's case now. So Credmat is somebody has even given us a better pitch. He said, "Let shoppers buy now and pay later." That's the concept of Ibami's. Yes. So now let's go back to the submission. So the first question is, what are you building? So I think that description makes sense, right?
Yeah. So I think
exactly.
With Sam's description, I would say we are building an app. I guess it should be an app or a website.
A web app.
Okay, so we are building a web. Okay. I think it should be we are building an app that allows shoppers buy now and pay later.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay,
So
that's one.
very
Very
so yeah, so we are building an app to let shoppers buy now and pay later, right? And if they ask questions like what do you want to accomplish this thing? Now I believe that their app would allow the shoppers will do this through their app, right? So for the kind of updates, let me just think. I think that stuff like that, obviously people have to come register. I think that their KYC has to be very strict because I mean somebody so that people don't steal your money to go. I think um also how does it work? Ayobami, how does it work? Is it um do people have to go to the shops physically or you can just buy straight from the app? Do merchants sign up on the app straight?
Okay,
How do
I think what will make sense is, Abami, you understand the submission, how the submission works, right?
exactly?
Yes, yes,
Just
yes.
give us an example of what you'd have submitted if you
And
were
then
asked. So that way,
exactly.
you don't have to think so much for him. Let him just do his business.
All right. Okay. So part of what do you intend to accomplish this week?
Mm-hmm.
I noted building the UX of the platform that shows the cart, building the verification API to perfect our KYC. I also wrote like working on an API to effect direct debit from the bank for users who get the loan. I don't know if I've gone too far with that three.
Can we do it two bullet points at a time so I don't have to store so much in my head?
Oh, okay, okay. So let me limit it to two for now.
Mhm,
The verification to perfect the KYC,
mhm,
and then the direct debit from the bank
mhm.
for users who get the loan.
Okay. Um,
Wait. Abami, I think you were saying something about API and dashboard. That, like, I think those terms are required in your in what you are saying now, because it
mhm,
feels that you're saying some things that are not
yeah,
really complete.
yeah.
Okay, so KYC will be API. Direct debit will also be API, but the card will be dashboard.
So you're
So
saying that you want to use API, you want to connect to an API for your KYC submission,
Exactly,
KYC process. You also want to build a dashboard
exactly.
for what again? For
exactly. So Toby, now so this is the issue. Like your submissions, I'm actually finding it very difficult to store what he's saying in my head, and this
Hmm.
is also one thing that you have to notice when submitting. Somebody should be able to remember what you are doing because one thing I noticed is that when people are reviewing products, they mostly go to your website, right? They go to your landing page, right? So it is landing page plus what you've submitted. So I think you should make your submission really simple. Right now I'm confusing it between API, dashboard, and UI. So please can you sort of like simplify it, but don't lose the terms. Like simplify it.
All right. Connect with an API for our KYC process.
Mm-hmm,
That's one.
mm-hmm.
Connect with an API to effect direct debit.
Okay. Okay, got it. So I think what you can say is um integrating payment processing, right? For your debit, it's a payment processor you're using for that, right? Flutter with Paystack,
Co-
yeah,
or remitter.
or Remita.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
what you can say is integrating a payment processor to um to allow direct debits.
Okay.
Yep. So the reason why I say
Yeah.
that is because everybody knows what a payment processor is, right? So they will
Hmm.
understand that okay, this is a platform that allows people to shop now, pay later. Okay, they're integrating a payment for their credit card. So I think you will want to add that payment processing so that they know that what you're actually trying to do is to process payments, right? So what was the
Correct.
other one you mentioned?
KYC. I said connect with an API for KYC process.
Okay, so um what I would say is I don't think I'll say anything very different from what you've said. I think I'll just rephrase it like something like integrating a third party API for KYC.
Okay.
Integrating a third-party API, because obviously you are not doing the KYC yourself, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So you just say integrating a third-party API for KYC on the app.
Okay, so
Okay.
the next question is, what would you want to have done by the end of next week? So Ibami, give us your answer.
Okay, so what I wrote here, why Ben was actually trying to, when the conversation was going on before now, was currently working on the UI UX. Yes, so for the like to set up the dashboard, yes. So whereby the users can interact with the interface and sort of make order. So I don't know, maybe I should limit that to the landing page, although the site is running, but I was just trying to like learn from the experience in taking it slow. Not like even if you have
Exactly.
I was also hoping that I will ask a question too. Like, let's assume you even have the product or the solution running, and you have a lot of users. Are you allowed to blow your trumpet like you have all these things working and all that, or you have to take it bit by bit?
Well, the thing is, what I would advise, one mistake I made, because the truth is, when we started submitting Flux was one of the most promising startups there. But the problem there was that we had already built our MVP, and I just went straight up week one, build MVP. So for the next 2 weeks, I didn't know what to say again. Build MVP, build MVP. That was what I was saying. So what I would advise you to do is backdate your product. You already have the product, you've already
Mm-hmm.
done most of these things. So just backdate it, right? You will see that before you
Yeah.
own, because you've made so much progress, before you get to the point where you have a complete product, you would have gotten selected. I know somebody that got selected 3 weeks after I started Pioneer. Mind you, some people have been there for 8 months, right? It's all about
Blood.
submitting the right type of updates, right? I had to learn the hard way. So you can backdate your product, start from the basic level, like go back to the first principles of product development, like the most basic level of what you're doing, right? So for this stuff that you said, you mentioned some UI UX thing. I think that's too
Yeah.
complex. Can you repeat it?
Okay. So what learning from what you said now,
Mhm.
what do you intend to accomplish? Okay, no, the question is about what do you want to have done by the end of next week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So exactly. So I was trying to pick it up from UI UX.
Mhm.
Um, with the wisdom now,
Mhm.
I might not even go straight to UI UX. It could just be that you are interacting with users to understand if they will actually use the products. Is that not too basic?
Yeah, that's actually basic and it's good. One thing that they also like is talking to users, right? I noticed
Okay.
one thing. Sales Cabal, some days Sales Cabal will put you talk to 5 users, 2 users, and you'll be like, I'm talking to 500 users. Why have I not gotten selected, right? So, um, so they also really like you talking to users, right? Talk to 10 users, talk to 5 users, but also focus on your product. So I would advise you to submit 3 to 4 bullet points. If it's too much, let it be 4, but just keep everything at the basic level. You can say started working on the UI UX of the app. And one thing I'll also advise is try to add external links. If you are actually working on the UI UX of the app, or you have the UI UX of the app, create a Google Doc or create a Google Drive document or somewhere just where
Just
you
show
have a
progress.
picture of your UI and your UX there. There was one person that did this, and this person shoot up to the first in African leaderboard, and he got selected the next week. Right? I noticed that he was very strategic with the way he submitted his updates. So you are saying that you are submitting UI UX, attach a link for people to see the UI UX you're actually working on, right? If you have an old UI that you want to change, you can do versus old UI versus new UI, all this kind of stuff. Say working on a new UI for the product, attach a link, tell people to tell you what they think about the new UI. That could be what I think there's a part where they say, do you need any advice or do you have any question for the community? You can ask
Mhm.
people to review what they think about your UI, UX, and all that stuff. So all these stuffs are what makes companies and startups and products actually progress for the Pioneer tournament.
All right. So,
Wow.
Ibami, thank you. I want to give one more startup the ability to do this session. Like, we just one more startup. So, Ibami, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, someone should, so in the chat, should should signify anybody, or should I select? Timmy is here. Timmy, would you like? You can just mention yourself on chat. Nobody's talking. Wow. My mom is saying Bali. I want it to be interested. I don't want to push people to do it. So
So I would advise you people to really go for the pioneer. Don't be shy.
All right. I think nobody signifying that they want to do stuff. So let me just move on to the next thing.
Okay.
All right. So now you've explained like the whole process of getting into the accelerator. So how did the accelerator go? Like, were you still submitting reports and stuff?
Yes. One thing that the pioneer one thing that the pioneer, the pioneer tournament is different from the pioneer accelerator, right? So the pioneer accelerator, one thing that they want you to do is they want to watch you grow over a period of 1 month, coupled with advice from mentors and all that stuff. So though when you get into the accelerator, they don't require you to continue submitting updates for the tournament, right? They just, if you like to do it, if you enjoy the reviews you are getting, go ahead. But they create a different Google Sheets. They create a different Google Sheets where you set the goals you want to achieve, right? Um, you set the goals you want to achieve. Okay, for instance, for Flux, when we went into our accelerator started, I think July to August, about a month. We said we wanted to process $20,000 in transaction volume, and we wanted to talk to, was it 100 users, and we wanted to onboard 100 new users. Now you've proceeded from you've proceeded from the tournament stage. So this stage now they are concerned about growth, right? So we put $20,000, and I think to talk to 100 users or so, right? And the funny thing is that when I first submitted the $20,000, I saw myself as a joker, because I mean, $20,000 is a lot. I saw, especially when I saw fellow startups putting, they want to do $2,000, $1,500. I was telling myself that, what am I going to do? Like, I was the only person there that the bar was $20,000, right? So, that was the goal I set for myself, and you are required to achieve that goal in the space of 1 month. So you will submit weekly progress for that goal you set till the 1 month is over. So yeah. Yeah.
So sorry, I'll take us back a bit. Sampam has been sending he wants his company to be the next, so you can help him review his answers. Let's just get Sampam in. Sampam, I'm sorry I didn't see your messages, but let's just get you in now. So Sampam, I think you can unmute yourself and stuff.
Toby, can you give me a minute? I'll be back. Like, I just want to get some. Yep.
No problem, it's fine. Sampam. Only you can unmute yourself. I can't unmute yourself. I can't unmute you here. Can you hear?
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Good evening. What's up?
I'm fine. I'm doing well. I've been sending messages. I don't know. Probably network or something.
All right. Let's wait for Ben come back. But you understand the question? You know the questions, right?
My network has been fluctuating, but I think I know most of them. I wrote them down.
So one question is, what are you building in a sentence? What did you accomplish this week? Did you do everything you planned? That's one question. No? Like, what did you accomplish this week? And did you do everything you planned? That's one question. Then the next question is, what do you want to have done by the end of next
week? Okay.
Then the last question is, what would you like feedback on?
All right.
Okay, good. All right. So, Sampam, just give us like a rundown of your business so Ben can understand.
All right. Hi Ben, good evening. So what we do, our name is Cloud Mall. What we do is we connect shoppers to sellers. We have an e-commerce platform where we have stores in a particular vicinity where shoppers in that vicinity also a particular radius, 3 kilometer radius, can shop from. So shoppers in a 3 kilometer radius can shop from stores in their vicinity, grocery stores, pharmacies, raw food and food stores. So basically an hyper-local e-commerce startup. Say Instacart for Africa. That's what we're trying to build.
All right, so good. So Ben, you understand his business?
Very well.
Okay, good. Nice. So so going to I'm going to ask him the questions. He's going to give us his answers. Then you help us review.
Okay, great.
All right. So Sampam, what are you building in the
Yeah.
sentence?
All right. Instacart for Africa. So,
That's it.
Instagram for Africa.
no, Instacart.
Oh,
Instacart.
Instacart for Africa. Oh,
Okay. So
okay.
how does that work when you're submitting, Ben?
Well, Instacart for Africa sounds weird. Yep. I think because wait, what's even Instacart for Africa? I think Instacart I think Instacart, they are focused on grocery,
Yeah.
right? And I don't think Instacart is okay. I think Instacart is location based because I remember if you go to Instacart, they ask you to enter a location, kind of stuff, right? But I think that your pitch can be better. Your one liner can actually be better,
Okay.
rather than saying Instacart for Africa, because the truth is Instacart is not so popular. They are a big company, but they are not so popular. It's not everybody that hears Instacart for Africa, Instacart, that knows what they are doing in an instant, right? Majorly people that have done e-commerce business before, that have an idea of what Instacart is, right? So I think that you can don't say Instacart for Africa.
Okay.
I know that Sales Cabal, they said Shopify for Africa, Flux said PayPal for Africa, right? But these are actually products that people relate with almost every day. So Instacart for Africa sounds a bit weird. I think you can from what you describe, I think we can work around something that I'm thinking location based e-commerce platform.
Okay.
What do you think, Toby?
Well, it's location-based e-commerce platform or localized e-commerce platform. I don't know which of them would. Well,
We
I
actually used to use. We
how
actually
about
used to use.
Instacart for Africa and the other one you mentioned now?
What do you say?
I
We
kind of if you
actually
can.
used to use a hyper local e-commerce. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can hear you.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. We used to use a hyper local e-commerce startup.
Yeah.
That's what we used to use before. That was our one liner before.
Okay. So the thing is, when I applied to Y Combinator for Jupa, one question they asked me, I think Jupa, I think my pitch was hyperlocal e-commerce platform. And one question they asked me is what is hyperlocal, and I froze. So I think location based. I think I even prefer Instacart. No, the reason why Instacart from Africa doesn't quite fit it. It sounds sort of off. So I think you should go between localized and location based. When you tell somebody you are a location based e-commerce platform, they have an idea that e-commerce by location, right? So yeah, so I think you should work with that. It doesn't sound as big as Instacart for Africa, but it's more understanding. Like when you tell somebody location based, not everybody knows the meaning of hyperlocal. I still don't know what hyperlocal means, even if I was using it as a pitch one time like that. I think the reason why I started saying hyperlocal is because I saw one tech point article about hyperlocal, blah blah blah. So location-based e-commerce platform is more understanding, is more relatable, right? If either you use that, you use localized e-commerce platform. So so just go with either of them, but don't use Instacart for Africa because it sounds a little bit off, and also um it's not everybody knows. I mean, if I want to review your application, I don't have to go and check what Instacart is before I start reviewing your application, right? So yeah, that's just it.
All
Okay.
right, thank you.
Mhm.
The next question is, what did you accomplish this week? Did you do everything you planned?
Okay. Um, accomplishment. During the week we had 10 new users.
Mhm.
Um, During the week we had a highest number of orders in the past week. We had 50 orders in the past week. This past week, we fixed some bugs on our mobile app. The mobile app is not ready actually. We actually fixed some bugs on our mobile app. Also, we are writing our front end. We are writing our front end application. So we made our user UI UX. We sorted out some things there. Some of the pages for our front end applications. We already did the prototype. We already did the prototype, and we are writing that.
Mm.
Okay. So yeah, somebody just made a very important point here. He said it limits them to grocery by using Instacart. Very true, right? From what you said, you're not just grocery, you are everything merchants. So I think yeah. So for your what's Toby, what question did you answer?
So first off, the question he was answering
Mm-hmm.
was the question of week.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I guess it was not. I think it was nothing was around when you mentioned that people should backdate
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
their product. So I think Sampam, I think you didn't get that part.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
you
in fact,
mentioned that
yes, sir.
you have to backdate to like try and backdate from like the product development itself, like when you guys came together, like
Okay.
what environment you set up. Did you you started to use Firebase for your backend for the meantime?
Mm-hmm.
You use React for building your app.
Exactly.
You use them React or Angular for your front end
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So that's what he mentioned. So he's not going to pay you if you are using
Yeah,
your current program.
Currency.
exactly.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So
So
you backdate like almost the very beginning when you guys started.
so
All
yeah,
right.
Toby.
So can you refine your answer, Sampam? Maybe a bit so we can get it.
All right. All right. All right. We sent out Google form to ask users questions about our product. Um, Started writing the front end with Vanilla JS.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So Ben, what do you think?
Think about it.
Um. Okay. So since he's backdating to the very start of their products, so I think that he actually, I think he said he sent out Google Forms, and he
Mhm.
started just building front end with using vanilla
Using
JS.
Vanilla JS.
But so I
Mhm.
think the Google Forms is cool. I would rather put um yeah, the Google form is cool. I will also sort of, I think what you were doing, you did with the Google form was you wanted to know, you try to talk to users. So it's just like more or less talking to users about your product. So I think you should refactor that statement around users, right? Send out Google Forms to
Users.
users to know about to know what they think about your product. Then number two, you set up you started, I think you also, since you are just at the very beginning, I want to believe you guys have UI for your products, right? Right. So
Yeah.
for that, I think you guys should put um you have a UI built out that you're currently working with a designer to build the UI of your products, right? Then, if possible, also add a link.
All right.
So, if possible, you can also add a link to your products. for the UI is very advisable because it will help people visualize what you're doing. And also, I will also advise you to have a landing page, even if your landing page just has your one liner. Have your landing page, right? Because you will see people, they will start trying to help you review your landing page and all that stuff. So talk about the users you talk to, talk about the UI design, talk about your tech stack, right? What you want to use to build the front end. I believe that CloudMall also has back end. So talk about what you're using to build back end. Then I think that should be a good submission for week one.
All right. So the next question is,
All right.
Sapam, is what do you want to have done by the end of next week? How would you answer, Sam?
All right. By the end, all right. Since we are backdating. By the end of next week, once I have spoken to 20 users, by the end of next week, we want to have reviewed their opinion or their submissions on what they feel about the product. By the end of next week, we want to be done with the first page, the home page of our product.
You're muted, Ben. You're muted.
I'm sorry. So thank you. Another point that I want to make is, as much as we want to be basic and backdated, don't be too basic, right? Try not to be too basic, but try to backdate and keep it simple. So for instance, now you said you review the information you collect, the data you collected from your users, right? You said you worked on the landing page. Did you say landing page of your product?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
so you worked on the landing page of your product. Now, if you are going that basic, if you are going that basic, like I said, always support with maybe a web link, or since you started working on the product, support that claim with a web link. Or if you've already built your product, since you already have a landing page, send the link of your landing page to Pioneer as per when you're submitting an update, or UI images. Just make sure that you are progressing, right? But try not to be too basic. Let it not look as if you're not actually doing anything. You understand, right? For instance, now I would vote somebody else that is more detailed versus the information that you just put here. Like this your second week submission right now. It was too basic for me, and it felt like you didn't really make any progress, right? So yeah, that's it.
All right. Sapam, do you understand?
Yeah, I do. I
Right. So
do.
I think at some level, I'm interested in number of startups that we can get into Pioneer and scale through it, because it's going to make sense for as a community where we have not just Ben, we have CloudMore, we have Credmat, like people scaling through. It's going to be like a community
Yep.
joy.
Mhm.
So I feel that maybe once we are done, those that are significant, mostly I'll take those that join this our session as priority, and we cannot form like a accountability group. So when you are starting, all of us will go through your submissions before you now actually make those submissions.
Yeah.
So that way we know that, okay, as a team, we are trying to push everybody up
Yeah.
to scale through the app. So now that's all. So for any other business I want to do, you can reach out to Ben and tell Ben and stuff.
Okay.
So now let's move to. We have a question for there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have a question where somebody asks, were you able to match up your 20K?
Yeah. We're able to match up 20K. I think we did 2,500 or 2,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a high growth 1 month accelerator. I mean, you see other people doing a lot of stuff, launching on product hunts, so you just don't want to slack, right? We were aggressively
So
talking.
did you launch a product hunt?
The thing about product hunt is more of like if you're launching a product for other countries like the USA. If you launch your product in product hunt for Nigeria, who will try your app? Nigerians are not really on product hunts, so but by the time we are ready to launch for the USA and all that stuff, we are going to do a launch on product hunt.
And at some point, I was going to reach out to you that I want to boost my product hunters like React. Now, should I submit? I found the app to product. Since you guys already having lockdown, there's no problem. But please, if in case, I'd like to be the one that would. I want to build my rep on product hunt.
Definitely.
All right. So moving into like accelerator. So you guys have to set up like benchmarks in a month. Like So do you know what happened to people that didn't meet up?
Well, so now the thing about Pioneer is that apart from the initial help you register as a Delaware, trips to Silicon Valley. Oh yeah, there are trips to Silicon Valley. 100K Google Cloud, 100K Amazon. I mean, since we launched Flux, we've not paid any money on cloud, right?
Wow.
Yep. Airtable segments, all that beautiful stuff. 6K. Apart from all that stuff, Pioneer also has the third batch is when they invest you, they give you either $20,000, $100,000, or $1 million, right? So that's the way you performed during the accelerator will determine whether they are going to go further to invest in your startup, right? So for instance, now we are eyeing the $1 million, right? We're eyeing the
So you're still accelerator now.
We are done with the accelerator, but when the accelerator finishes, they give you like a 2, 3, 4 months timeline to continue making progress, right? So for everybody that made progress during, there are some people that can actually falsify values, like call false figures during the accelerator that, we possess $100,000 just to get funding. So they see your performance 2, 3, 4, 5 months after the accelerator, and they give you money, right? You have to be submitting updates monthly to them. Submit monthly updates. They give you an email where you submit your monthly updates. Then at a higher level, when you get to some point, they offer you either 100,000, 1 million, 20K, right? So, but we are done with the accelerator, but we still have some awesome stuff going on, like office hours with Daniel Gross, Ask Me AMA with big people like Chief of Staff Elon Musk, big
Wow.
so we have all these sessions, we've had sessions with the CEO of Figma teaching us how to prepare pitch decks. So Pioneer is a valuable program, right? We are still enjoying it from Pioneer, and also it's really interesting. So that's it about the accelerator.
All right, so just to delve, somebody has a question. Is it advisable to register CAC and Delaware, like both of them?
Well, I'm not to sound like I'm not patriotic, but if they give me the option which to register, I will register.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I will register Delaware over CAC.
Do you know if you can do both?
Yeah, you can do both. Like, I mean, we have CAC, we have Delaware. Okay, for instance, let me give you an example. When we registered to launch our product on App Store, initially we submitted our Delaware, but Apple they requested that we submit an incorporation for the country we are currently in, right? So we are registered in the USA, but we are in Nigeria, right? So what helped us scale through was our CAC, right? So it's advisable to register both in the US and Nigeria. It's advisable.
All right, so now let's talk about the opportunities Pioneer opened for you outside of Pioneer. Was like you mentioned one time that people were sending you emails and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk about first proceed. Like, how did it go? Give us the
we've communicated with guys, Peter Thiel guys, right? We've communicated with a lot of people, a lot of venture capitalists, Goldcrest Ventures. So I mean, when the whole windows of opportunities, when it came at a very large scale, it was when we did our demo, right? When I demoed to Shola. After Pioneer Accelerator, they ask you if you feel like demoing. Please, if you ever make it to the accelerator, be the first person to signify that you want to demo, right? Some people have not demoed. I don't think Sales Cabal have demoed. I don't know why they've not demoed. But
I don't think I've
Yes, exactly. So, but the day we demoed, like immediately I was finishing my demo, I was just checking my email, like I didn't check because I was expecting emails or LinkedIn messages, but I saw, "Hi Ben, we saw you demoing at Pioneer. We like to reach out to you. We want to know if you want investments and all that plenty stuff, right? We had Peter Thiel Capital people reaching out to us, like a lot of people, and I started replying emails, answering chats, and all that kind of stuff. So for our pre-seed, um, the first funding we got after Pioneer was 25K. And it was pretty sweet, pretty easy, right?
Was it equity? No, wait. Before you continue, when you get money from Pioneer, like you get like cash from Pioneer.
Like we have not yet, the cash they gave us was, they gave us $6,000 like grants, equity free.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. That was it equity free from Pioneer.
Oh, but yeah, to mention Pioneer, when you get into the accelerator, they take a 1% of your company. 1%.
Okay.
They take a 1.
Equity free. It's 6,000 for 1%. Man, that's some crazy valuation.
I mean,
That's some crazy valuation.
I was like, I mean, is it 1%? Like, I mean, 1%. So, they take a 1% to help you register $6,000, trips to Silicon Valley, all that plenty stuff for 1%. So it's totally worth it. So for our pre-seed, we raised our first fund that we got was $25,000. $25,000 is a lot of money for a startup, an early stage startup, right? It helped us to do a lot, right? We got it from Hustle Fund, and let me give you what happened. So, I saw these tweets on Twitter about Hustle Fund. They just tweeted that we love to invest in hilariously early stage startups, blah blah blah. I just decided that, oh, let me just apply. I just went, applied. I was joking. I was not serious. I applied, and after I finished my application, under the application, and I also we invest in only American startups and Middle East startups, right?
So it's
I was like, oh god, that means I'm not even qualified. So the general partner of Hustle Fund emailed me that they saw my application. Obviously, she said they saw my application, that they would like to know more about my product. So in that email, I was apologizing. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm Nigerian. Like, I did not know that." Right? And she was like, "No, no, no. That it's cool. That they would still like to know more about me." So I emailed her that we went through Pioneer. She knows Daniel Gross, so it was really easy and sweet, right? So we went to Pioneer Accelerator. We built an MVP and all that stuff, and I requested the Zoom chats with them. They had not sent me congratulations. Usually you apply and they send you congratulations for interview, then they invite you for interview. So what I did was, when she was asking me questions, I just told her that I'm happy to answer her questions on Zoom, right? And immediately she set up a Zoom chat. I think the next day we spoke, and she told me that she would send me an email so I can meet with other partners. I think 2 more processes. And on Monday, I think it was on Friday. On Monday, I just saw congratulations. We decided to invest in you, and I was like, really? Like,
wow.
it was really awesome, because it was not, they don't invest in African startups normally. The process was not the same, right? She was like, she loves the confidence. She loves how I have a clear vision of what we are building. She loves the fact that we've gone out there. I mean, we demoed with Pioneer and all that stuff. So that is how Hustle Fund invested in us. And since Hustle Fund, we've gone ahead to secure more funds. Yeah. We've gone ahead to secure more funds. We got another person signing us another 25K check at $1 million valuation.
Wow.
Yep. And also we got
Is it post or pre? Is
post
it valuation or post valuation?
post money.
Wow.
And we raise it on a safe. So we still have our equity. The money is going to convert when we raise our Series A, right? So we also have some people that are going to be sending us $50,000. I think at a $3 million valuation. Like yeah. So
Hey.
yeah, so all those interesting stuff. And the funny thing about our partners is they actually want us to grow, right? And they are trying to help us we are going to start another round next month or two, where we are going to be raising $500,000. Right. So basically, um, Pioneer opened us to all these windows of opportunities. I know one thing that, despite the fact that we're Africans and we got funding from Elizabeth Yin Hustle Fund, um, if we were not registered as Delaware, they wouldn't have gone ahead with the
Mm.
yeah. So we were not in America, but we have an American incorporated company. So it made us to be
Mm.
qualified for what they were offering, right? So
So Pioneer just opened like the whole thing.
exactly.
Wow.
So Pioneer opened the whole thing for us, and it's really exciting. So I advise everybody to go for Pioneer. I would say Pioneer and Y Combinator is the easiest way to get yourself out there, right? If you cannot get into Y Combinator, you get into Pioneer. If you cannot get into Pioneer, you get into just shall get into one of them.
Yeah, wow,
So, um,
wow, this is huge. Like
mhm.
how many months are you talking about? February till
Well,
October. That's
yeah. So
6. That's 7. I don't know. My math is already getting wrong here. I don't
so
understand
now
again.
we started
7 months or 6
we
months.
started submitting applications around February, I think mid-February. Also, we got accepted around April, right?
Mm-hmm.
April, they announced us around May. Then I think our session started July. Our session started July, but before the session started, they had already registered us. Don't know that stuff.
All this process and stuff. So that means if you had, if there was travel, you'd have traveled to Silicon Valley.
Exactly, would have traveled to Silicon Valley, right? So we did Pioneer July to August, or late June to August. Then we got funded by Coffee Fund around July, end of July, right? Then all this stuff coming in August, September, right?
Just in between a month and some days. Wow,
Yeah.
this is really inspiring. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is really really inspiring. Uh so well, I think I'm really hyped and pushed. Like them, I can start submitting idea by tomorrow or something. Well, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, basically, I want to ask. Is there any other question? Does anybody have any question? Because this is almost an hour. This is more than
Yeah.
an hour 40, it's close to 2 hours.
Mm-mm.
It'll be just so. Does anybody have any question? Just let me know. I will turn on your mic so you can talk. Okay, yeah, seems well. Like I said, I think I have enough information. I have enough drive to like, okay, let's get guys
Mm-hmm.
into this thing. Like, let's get startup grand guys into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's going to make a lot of sense. Like, I can't wait for when Credmart starts sending me mail that to start telling that Toby, I've raised one particular, I've raised,
Yeah.
and the thing is why I like it is because it's going to be so crazy because of normally, Nigerian, and there's this kind of gatekeeping kind of thing where
Yes.
if somebody doesn't talk about your business,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody doesn't say something about your business, it's really hard. Like normally, people say if you want to get into YC, maybe go to venture platforms, join microtraction, those kind of
Mm-hmm.
people. Those are people that get into YC. But now that there's now like a fund or there's now a process where you can actually open yourself to foreign VCs
Exactly.
without even going through the noise on Twitter and
I
all
mean,
those whatnot.
Toby, it's so amazing because last week or so we got Goldcrest Ventures. These guys invested in SpaceX, reaching out to us. I'm serious. They are ready to sign $1 million check, right? Like this is crazy. And they saw us doing our demo. They reached out to us.
Mm.
They said they like our product. So I mean, it's just the whole process of you doing your stuff, getting out there, and you have a lot of people reaching out to you, wanting to fund you. So it's not like if you don't know somebody at Microtraction or if you don't know somebody at Y Combinator, you don't get.
If they don't recommend you or stuff like that, that kind of
It's not based on recommendation. It's more about merit and product, right? I believe that if we can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, so
yeah. For instance, that you go, I don't know, would you want to go back to AU for anything, like as a student or something? Would you want to go back at this stage?
well,
That's
to be honest, like I won't lie to you, it doesn't feel like going back. In fact, it just depends on things. I mean, if we get some kind of 500k, what am I going to do in school? Will I be using 500k to run around to classes? I mean, your investors should hear that you're using their $500,000 to go to classes. I mean, so
Oh
definitely,
my god, I don't know. I'm saying
and
speed is bad now or what? Because
do
I
you know
can't imagine
another
raising this amount of money and
do you
still.
know, do you know another amazing thing? Another amazing thing is that we've gotten to the level where you have these guys that are willing to fund you no matter what happens, right? So let's say a bad situation where something goes wrong in your startup, these guys are here to fund you. I mean, Elizabeth, is it Yin has been introducing me to a lot of people, so it gets to a level in startup that you know that you cannot just go back. You cannot go back to the base level. I mean,
Like if you want to build something new, you already have the
exactly,
support already.
exactly. These guys are willing to sign you 50k check instantly for your new product. So the subject of going back to OAU, I leave that to God, right? I'll just
Leave that to God. Oh my,
so so
oh
yeah.
my god! I think we'll go back. I think we'll come back to this because some of us will talk about it. I me ask. Let's round up. Before start with drawing our gist. Yeah, unmute yourself. Your question,
No.
Ayabami, run away.
Okay. Don't mind me. Yeah, I wanted to ask. So when is the group going to be set up? Like the
Well,
accountability group?
if it's catching your body, you open the group and join and add me. Like,
No,
let's
Allah.
let's get it on. I know that it's going to be like the energy is there now, but I feel that with all the information I have now and the kind of support we have as a team, like as a community, I feel that if we all use the same force, the same and all of us put attention to it, I feel that we can get
Momentum.
and get more people out.
Alright.
Like now, I think that now no other. I don't think there's any other community again that's really doing something like this.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think because of if everybody has this information, I feel man, if I beg you enter Hyperion at least. Like you get, and now they have traction, like they have numbers on their end, and it's something that
Uh,
people can recommend them
Yeah, true.
and
exactly.
stuff. So I feel that if you have this energy now, I think let's just use it now, like as it's hot in our body, like let's go out. So if you say you want to start, you want to register, you want to join Pioneer tomorrow or next tomorrow, we just have to just create like a structure. So
Yeah.
maybe say every submission for the week you're going to submit should be coming by Wednesday, so we can spend like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to review everything. Then everybody then go and submit. And if there's a feedback, you think you can screenshot to the group and the group say, okay, I think for the next week, this is what we should do. This is how we should look at it and stuff. Because we have somebody that's scaled through and is raising funds, is raising money for his startup already.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like imagine using the back door. It's not going through the afterwater or like this guy's way.
Exactly.
As using like a door that nobody is even really exploring. Yet, so I feel like please, I'll create it like after this call, immediately after this call, and I'll try and drag everybody in. So let us come like as a team, get like 2 people in. Like, it becomes like a thing of joy when I know. Like now I know Ben is almost close to like almost 200 already now. I have mean to start to reach 500 at. So I'm not starting ourselves and stuff. But so we are starting immediately.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's
all right. So I want to round up. Is there any other question before we close it for today? I really enjoyed today's session, and luckily for you people that did not come, this new startup grind tool automatically records.
right. Exactly. I want to ask. Please share the recording, please.
Share
the destiny of some people. I think you can share it based on request. You can ask if you want the recording, notify. So that it won't just be that we'll be sharing it with.
Okay, so guys, in the absence of no questions, like you can continue the questions on the group. Like ask Ben. Ben is really accessible.
Yeah.
Ask him questions. He's ready. But those that want to get into Pioneer and try our luck around it, please let's get that somewhere else and let's start our Pioneer move. Yeah. So thank you very much, Ben. I really appreciate this session. It made a lot of sense to me. Like now I know how to appreciate, I know how to move, how to look at Pioneer and think around it very good now. All right. So on that note, I say Thank you very much, and God bless you, Ben. Thank you, and
Thank
everybody
you.
that joined.
Thank you,
This.
Startup Grind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, now,
Yeah.
Ben.
Bye.
We'll talk later.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you so much, Ben.
All right, guys. Bye.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Toby.
Yeah. See ya.
Okay.